Welcome back, fight fans, to another episode of GTS Combat. And yo, I'm looking ahead to what I regard as a highly anticipated fight, even though it's not a main event, it's not even a co-main event, it's not even a fight before the co-main event, it's the fight before the co-main event. If I said that right, which I believe I did. But yeah, it's the return of the Suga show. We've got Suga Sean O'Malley coming back to take on Thomas Almeida. So let's get into it. You got Suga Sean O'Malley coming back after that shock defeat to Marlon Chito Vera when he rolled his ankle a few times and got finished by some devastating elbows on the ground. So yeah, how is he going to bounce back? Well, to find out, you're going to have to tune in to UFC 260 on March 27th, headlined by Stipe Miocic against Francis Ngannou in the rematch for the heavyweight title. So yeah, into this one though, you got Sean O'Malley coming into this 12-1, and that's 8-1 coming via TKO or KO stoppage, and 1-0 coming via submission, whilst Thomas Almeida on the other hand, 22 wins, 4 losses, and when you break it down, that's 17-2 coming via TKO or KO stoppage, and 3-0 coming via submission. So it's clear to see Thomas Almeida will be the much more experienced man when they step in the octagon, but Sean O'Malley has had the much more hyped career, so he's had the much more, he's had a lot more eyes watching him to this point, and yeah, until his last loss, everyone was sort of tipping him to be a future champion. So yeah, we're going to see how he can bounce back and whether this reoccurring injury will be an issue for him, because it's not the first time he's had an issue like this, and I believe it is the same foot that he injured in the last fight against Chito Vera compared to previously against Andrei Sukumtov when he managed to actually, you know, he got lucky in that one. He managed to still get the victory. He was 2 rounds up. He got the injury, and for some reason Andre just didn't seem to capitalise on it. He was quite happy to engage in fighting on the ground rather than get an injured man who can barely walk to stand up and strike with you, and then you can probably get a TKO victory, which is what he needed really. But yeah, so Sean O'Malley got lucky that time, but not so lucky against Chito Vera. So like I said, how is it going to play out? Is it going to affect his career? Is it going to affect his potential and how far he can go in the bantamweight division? But first of all, we're going to see how he can bounce back against Thomas Almeida. So yeah, but Thomas Almeida has actually lost his last 3 fights against Jonathan Martinez, Rob Font and Jimmy Rivera. He had 1 win against Albert Morales, but then even prior to that, he lost to Cody Garbrandt. And none of these guys is anything to be embarrassed about losing to. You know, there are some good, notable names. If he could have got the victory against them, it would have really potentially catapulted Thomas Almeida in a different direction in his career. And the path he's on in the UFC bantamweight division, but you know, he did lose in the end to Cody Garbrandt, Jimmy Rivera, Rob Font and Jonathan Martinez. 4 of his last 5 fights in the UFC have come in defeat for Thomas Almeida, so he really does need this victory. And how do I see it potentially playing out? Well, you got Sean O'Malley, who prior to his loss was just sort of running through his opponents, you know, knocking out Jose Quinones and Eddie Wineland in his last 2 fights before he's lost to Chito Vera. And to be honest, I potentially see this one going the same way. From what I've seen of Thomas Almeida, he does have some flashy strikes. He's quite skillful with his techniques and his striking abilities, but he seems a bit awkward in his movements. He doesn't seem to flow quite like Sean O'Malley, in my opinion. O'Malley's just a bit going to be too quick for him, too precise, and just too slick with it in a way, compared to Almeida. If Almeida is to get the victory, I think he really needs to try walk O'Malley down, chop at them legs, see if he can maybe bring up any injury potentially, or just even just chop at the legs, because it is a very good, it is a very useful tool that a lot of these fighters do now, these calf kicks and, you know, chopping at your opponent's legs, stifling their movement, which would be a very wise thing to do against someone like Suga Sean O'Malley, you know, who really likes to bounce around and utilise his movement, get in and out very quick. Whilst Thomas Almeida, like I said, he's got a bit of a more awkward movement, so to chop at the legs would be a good idea for Thomas Almeida. Then maybe walk him down, get O'Malley backed up against the fence, nowhere really to move, and then let them hands go. yeah, Almeida can really, you know, rip to the body, and he mixes up his strikes very well. Like I said, I'm not a fan of his movement with it. It does seem a bit awkward to myself, and yeah, like I said, I don't believe he is going to have the tools on the night to beat O'Malley. But prediction wise, maybe a second round KO finish for O'Malley is going to be my prediction. Potentially, if Almeida can come out and get the victory, I believe maybe it would be like a third round or maybe even a unanimous decision. If he can stifle Sugar Sean O'Malley's movement and sort of stop him getting off the shots that he wants to. But my official prediction is going to be O'Malley to get back on track, look like his usual self, come in all slick and skillful, let the Sugar Show be live to the world, the fight before the co-main event. And yeah, second round TKO or KO victory is my official prediction. Let me know your prediction in the comment section below. I've been your boy Jimmy. This has been GTS Combat. Like, comment, share and subscribe. Till next time.